everyone, this is Keith Scott from Abusive, Upbringing. I'm one of the voices that will manage you loose. It's time to watch Relentless and Unstoppable. And so give it up for your main hosts, Douglas Kenny and Andy McPhee.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny from Relentless and Unstoppable, and today we have Mary Oakes with us. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good to have you. Where are you at the moment?
I am in Cibolo, Texas. It's a small town just north of San Antonio, about 20 minutes.
Nice, nice. Tell everybody a bit of what you're known for.
So I'm known for kind of a lot of things. I am a professional photographer by trade, and I am the owner and director for Emissary Pageants International Congress. And then I'm also the president of Texas Auxiliary Scout Support Association. And so I do a lot of things. I'm very excited about life and I love getting involved.
Yeah, for sure. So for everyone who doesn't know quite yet, Mary was not supposed to be one of those success stories that she is now a very successful businessman in. And it was 10 years ago when I graduated from high school. You know, I was not meant to be a success either, according to people's standards. You know, I was battling problems with mental health and I was battling obesity and I had bad relationships in school, but now I've gone on to become a podcaster and video person, and I've also just recently became a crewman at Jersey Mike's Subs in Scottsdale, which is one of the best cities to live in Arizona. And so Mary and I have a lot in common. So yeah, tell us a bit about how that was to be, how you weren't expected to be a success.
Well, so most kids, growing up, their parents help them figure out what's going to happen after high school, and my parents never did that. I never took the SATs. I never took the ACTs. I was really, getting to the end of my senior year, and I was floundering, and um, the boyfriend I was dating said, "Let's get married." And I was like, "Yes, let's do that." And that didn't go real well. Childhood was fairly abusive, and I went from a fairly abusive childhood to a very abusive marriage. And um, divorcing him, I left with two children and just drove across country to try and establish some safety for myself and the kids, and eventually did that. Um and then I made the mistake of getting into another abusive relationship, and all along the way, my parents said, "You're never going to amount to anything," and both of my ex-husbands, "You're never going to graduate, you're never going to amount to anything, you're always going to be that welfare mom." And I'm not. I own my own home. I own two businesses. I'm the president of a nonprofit responsible for 10 sailboats. Not one, not two, 10. I'm responsible for 10 sailboats, and I do a lot of things. Mentorship is really at the heart of it all. That thing that I lost out on in high school that I should have had innately, that my parents should have helped me figure out what's next. Nobody ever did that. It wasn't until many years later a lady from church took me and said, "Let me help you get the SATs. Let me help you take the ACTs. Let me help you figure out what you want to do with your life." And she was really instrumental in helping me move my life forward. And I kept cycling back to that abusive home, back to my parents' abusive home, and eventually I simply said, enough.
Gee, that's all we have for Relentless and Unstoppable. So tune into the next episode to hear more amazing stories from amazing guests. This is Keith Scott from Sydney, Australia, saying so long, and I'm smarter than the average bear. Gee.